Now for some general advice and tips on this piece. As you can see, it's mostly just scales and arpeggios, and they're pretty clearly separated into sections. So this means that a great technique for practicing is chunking them. So for example, look at measure 9. So play this first scale. Stop, get ready for the next one. Now the next one. And so on. You can see in those gaps there, I have time to think about what's coming and like what my hand shape needs to be, like where the half steps will be. So you get used to planning that on the fly, so it's going to be in tune. And then as you practice, over time, you can shorten those gaps until it's more seamless. So let's look at measure 33. This is a really difficult progression. When you're up here in the high positions, make sure for each shift, your hand moves as a unit. You have like a rigid hand shape that should be outlined by these octaves. So if you watch my hand while I shift, see, I keep the octave intact. You don't have to keep your 4 down, because that could be a lot of pressure, it could be difficult. Just keep your 4 right in that area to make sure your octaves are staying the same. Now, as you go between higher and lower on the string, it will change a little bit because the notes get closer together as we go up the string. But in general, this will help you stay grounded so you can find where the octave is each time. This is another great place to implement chunking. As you can see, playing each little passage in position, then stopping to shift to the next one, etc. There's a really awkward passage at measure 38. As you can see with the bowing, it leaves you on an up bow on the whole note in measure 39 to get back to the standard bowing in the following measure 40. And it can be really hard to have enough bow with that whole note. So I would recommend in 38, most of this piece, you should have a nice brushy stroke, and you can see that in my recording, an example of what that should kind of sound like. But here I might recommend starting to use more bow. So at 38. And then for this slur, use the most bow. And then you can stay kind of on-ish for these two notes. So then you have plenty of bow for the up bow. And also for all these 3-note slurs, which by the way, make sure you take a look at the errata because they've added some extra bowings with the 3-note slurs. But yeah, with these, make sure you lean into them so you have a nice sound. So it contrasts with the brushy. And then also use enough bow on this up bow. It's a difficult balance. You need enough to not make it sound weak, because you don't, it should be audible. But also, if you use too much to get back to where you were for the brushy stroke, it can sound like just accented, unbalanced. So it's just very difficult. I might even recommend use a little more on that bow, so a little bit. And then with these next 4, you can really work your way back to where you were. Now you have enough to spend for this slur. And a little more, and work your way back. So it's like an ongoing process like that. Just be aware of how you're spinning your bow. And beyond that, really all this piece needs is a lot of slow practice. I mean, it's actually not too difficult after you can see that it's just scales and arpeggios. So make sure when you're doing slow practice for intonation that you never, if you land a wrong pitch, you never adjust to correct it, because that'll instill bad habits. In performance, you can't adjust a wrong pitch. You want to nail it the first time. So you have to practice landing the pitch without adjusting. So if you land a pitch and it's wrong, go back to where you were and practice landing it the right way without adjusting. So you'll be ready for performance. And that requires very slow tempo, so you can actively think about each pitch as you're going. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching. Leave your questions in the comments. I'd love to answer them. And thanks again.